Oh man, it is a pleasure to have you ladies here on the show tonight. And I apologize to everyone, to listeners, viewers. I have a cold, so I'm going to be sounding really odd and hoarse. But we're gonna power through because I have these two ladies that's going to help me out, and it's about them. It's definitely not about me. So you'll be hearing them speak. So I want to start with you, Miss Rachel, because I've been hearing about some real challenges and how you overcame them and how it provides listeners with relatable lessons in resilience and perseverance. So, looking back, what were some of the biggest challenges or obstacles that you had to overcome on your path to financial independence?
For everybody who's I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you guys. As author Black alluded to, I am Rachel L. Gary, and I am a leadership coach. And the biggest thing that was hindering me in my journey was my mindset. And as a leadership coach, that is what I work with people with, the mindset that is needed for growth. So um, when I realized in 2004 that I was living a life of lack, a life of a poverty mindset, I took an opportunity to rewrite and set forward on my mission to be the CEO of my life. And just a little bit about what the CEO is. It's the person that is clear in your actions, empowered by your choices, and owns your direction. And on a everyday basis, each and every one of you are CEOs.
I
I have
like that.
never heard of anybody saying that's what their mindset was, and I'm sitting here trying to go with that. That is amazing. Even for you to just acknowledge that's the kind of mindset that you had at that time. How did you get through it? How did you get
Hmm.
through all of
I would say that the biggest thing is that I am an intentional type person, and that I've always been. I've always been someone who can be counted on and relied upon. But I noticed in 2004 that I couldn't rely on me. And before, while I was helping everyone else find success in their lives, I wasn't successful in mine because I wasn't putting the first person that needs to be your first love first, you. So when I really dug deep and really realized that I was loving everything first and not loving everything in the overflow of me, I corrected that. So I started setting clear boundaries, which is things I remind people in my course about being what self care really is, and it's about setting those clear boundaries with yourself, loving yourself, understanding yourself, and growing yourself, so you can pour into others. Everything should be love. You should love everything in your life in the overflow of you.
it? She's definitely pouring some nuggets into us. She's talking about with the power of the mind and overflow. And you're not hearing that from nobody else but Danny. I'm sorry, by Rachel talking about that. So, Danny, where Rachel speaks about finance, you speak in a literary voice and creative process. Your first book, Entangled with Deceit, touches on deep emotional themes. What was the heart behind that story?
Well, thank you. Let me say also thank you for having me on tonight. I am Danny Nicole. I am an author, um, an entrepreneur, a speaker, speaking that into existence. So, but this first novel that I published in 2024 called Entangled with Deceit, um, a lot of it, so it's fiction, but I took um, parts of my real life as a young woman, single, dating, relationship. So that's kind of where the book came from. My life experiences as a single woman, and and so I decided, you know, I want to talk about it, but at the time, I didn't want it to be nonfiction. I wasn't ready to be that vulnerable
Right.
about my own life. So the fiction, I said, I'm going to turn it into a fiction novel, change some names, change some scenery, but it is, based on a single woman that I was in my 20s and 30s. Um, and that's how it came to be.
So
Mm.
would you say that the vulnerability is what impacted you personally?
Yes. Yes, I would say that. And that kind of leads up to, and I know you're going to speak on this later, but with the second book, which is the anthology, The Moments for Moms, that one brought out the vulnerability. And that was a challenge because I had to really, share my true self with
Well, we
others. So,
definitely want to hear about how that
yeah.
came about with you. So pinpointing a turning point can illustrate the mindset shift or opportunity that propelled you forward, offer insight into how change happens. Rachel, was there a specific turning point or some aha moment when you realized things were changing for the better in your life and career?
I'll say this. And when I started in 2004 and became intentional, that was when everything pivoted immediately because I immediately set up a clear plan of action of who I wanted to be and what my biggest why is. I think that what we do is we set goals without having something that is going to anchor us, something that's going to keep us accountable to our success. And what I did was my why to this day, 21 years later, is still the same. I am a person that my children are proud of. I don't speak in I don't speak in past tense, or I speak in where I'm going to be and where I want to be. So I speak in affirmation. I speak in affirming what is mine. And anything that I'm going for, I'm affirming that. So I was a person my children were was going to be proud of, and everything from that day forward reflected it. And when I really noticed the biggest change is when I went from sleeping on a couch and making $7 an hour to where my circumstances were changing. I want to say overnight, because in 14 months I was promoted 4 times because I was
Wow.
intentional about the person I was being. So when I showed up at work, I didn't show up at work as an employee. I showed up to work every time as the best version of me. And that doesn't mean I was the best every day. Every day I was getting better. Every day it was about moving one step forward. It wasn't 10 steps. I didn't go from 0 to 100. It was 0 to 10, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 60. And more and more the momentum came with the fact that I was constantly every day. This is my regimen, guys, and if you read my book Forged and Fire from Ashes to Empowerment, it speaks a lot to this. I'm very similar to what Danny was saying about not wanting to be vulnerable. I forced myself to be vulnerable because it was
Okay.
important to me that people understood that we all go through something, and on the other side is survival, not victimhood. You're not a victim. You have survived whatever has taken place. And I wanted to give the moments of tragedies, things that happened in my life, but the mindset that allowed me to get over it, go through it, move forward, and trudge through even with my uncertainty when I was uncertain with me, and coming out on the other side and being able to still thrive. So I said, as I said, as to answering your question, the change was immediate for me because I immediately, when I noticed I was pouring into everyone but me, and my cup was always empty, I made that change immediate and started doing way more creating boundaries around my peace. I laugh all the time. I tell people I protect my peace with a shotgun. That's one thing I do not give up. My
No,
peace to no one.
I honestly don't blame you. You got people just blowing up the side of this chart saying yes. That part. Hello, ladies. Hello, hello, founding sponsor, the crew, aspiring authors. We got Miss Milagros here. We got Miss Travita here. And we got Dee Dee here. And they're
Hey,
all powered
ladies.
in. They're powered in and they're talking to you. But I got a feeling that I'm going to have to change your title to the intentional leadership coach. So I'm going to start saying that, the intentional leadership coach. Okay.
Hey,
So
I'm
that's
that
where
way
we're
to
going
this
to
day,
be at.
Black.
Danny, your next career move was connecting your book to your faith-based view, and it invites a heartfelt reflection. What was that like?
It was challenging because I had to be vulnerable. I had to share a part of myself and my feelings and my past and what led me to now. So it was challenging at first. First, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna back out. Like I can't tell them. You know, I can't share this. But God was saying, you know, it's time to share. It's time to speak your truth. And it's, you know, there's because there's other women who have the same story. And as we began to come together and I began to read the other women's stories and we shared before the release of the book, I was like, wow, that is so true. Like there really are people who really have gone through some things and we're alike. Like we had the same, you know, our journeys kind of took a similar path. It wasn't, everything wasn't the same, but I realized that I was not alone. And
Wow.
and so yeah, I was able to just share, and the women that were with me were just so like it was like a sisterhood that
And
I
that's in the
really
anthology that you're talking about? Is that the
yes,
anthology? It
yes,
usually
the one
happens when you're in an anthology that you become sisters or brothers and sisters. But I want to know
yes,
also, what was harder, getting to now or getting to know Danny in the way that Danny should know Danny?
getting to know Danny, and I'm still getting to know Danny. I'm
Nothing
still
wrong with that.
getting to know Danny, and I like what Rachel was saying. She was talking like speaking to me. Um, because I'm at a
She was
point.
intentionally speaking to you. See, that's
She
the
was
intentional
intentionally.
leadership coach.
Oh,
See, I'm gonna
okay,
keep saying that. I'm gonna keep
okay.
saying that. She was intentionally
She was
talking to you and
intentionally,
everybody else too.
yeah, she was intentionally speaking to me. Everything she was saying was intentionally for me because that's the point where I'm at now, reflecting and reinventing Danny, and you know now that Dan, you know, because I mean, I'm Danielle because that's what family knows me as. So now that I'm Danny and I've taken on Danny Nicole, the author, I'm finding me and I'm reinventing me.
Oh my God,
Love
I'm
that.
so proud of you. So do I. I'm just loving on that, loving on you for that, for identifying who you are and keeping yourself as a realist to say that this is who I am. There's no mistakes about it. In moments for mom, and I just love that title. You talk about motherhood as a divine assignment. I never heard it put that way. Motherhood as a divine assignment. Can you share what made you view parenting as both a sacred honor and a challenging calling?
Yes, sure. So I'm a single mom. So when I had when I began to have my children back in the 90s, and I'm a woman of faith, so I was in church for some. I still am. So, but as a woman of faith, being a young woman, having children out of wedlock, um, and this is in the 90s. That was kind of taboo. That was kind of like, oh my God, you know. Um, so for me, I had to look at it. Children are a blessing. Everyone is not blessed to have children, and when God blesses you, it's an assignment. Like He's giving you He's giving you the child, and it's up to you to be a good steward over anything that God gives you. And that's how I looked at it. And so I wanted to be the best mother that I could be because God gave me my children. And so
Yeah.
he's expecting me to take care of them, to provide for them, as they grow. And that was challenging at first because my church family kind of shamed me um, for that moment. And I'm glad I had my family. My family has been a big support. My mom, my grandmother, aunts, uncles, best friends, because that was a vulnerable moment. I'm in my 20s and I'm pregnant. I'm no husband, and then now I'm ashamed, and I'm trying to find, okay, Danielle now has these children. How does she survive? But it's by the grace of God that I'm here
It
to
was the
even.
support of your family. It was
Oh
the
my
support of
God!
your family. And like you said,
Yes,
it was an assignment, just like you
yes,
said. And you were chosen to
yes,
carry that out. And you
absolutely.
carried it out beautifully.
Yes,
So I
I
wouldn't,
believe.
concern myself with that. Rachel, you also had a calling. And I'm so glad that you answered because you're serving as a panelist on Cracks in the Surface, Strengths in the Core, Not Easily Broken. Now, this panel highlights your perspective on inner strength and resilience. What was the message of that panel? And what did strengthen the core mean to you in the context of your own life?
I would say what I love about the panel is that first, I'm going to be honest. When I first got the workbook, I was like, "Oh, we got more work." Author Black, you're always going to get me to be authentic and be integritous. But once I started reading and having an understanding about what we were trying to do, how we were trying to impact people, and it was like, okay, take a moment. This isn't work. This is a mission. This is about helping others heal. This is why I wrote Forged in Fire. So from this, when I started going through the exercises, it brought some things back to my mind, because you know how you go through life and you're really just methodically just going through life. As things hit you, some knock you down, some you push through. But when I was reading through your exercises in the book, it it made me have to take a second to reflect. And that's the part I liked most about the companion guide that we're reading currently, and we're going through doing exercises. And I like that part because it made me think about, how did I really get through this. It made me dissect that a little bit, which as Nicole was just saying, it allowed me to figure out some more things about myself that I really thought I knew, because we're all growing and we're all developing on an everyday basis. You learn more about yourself as you get older, and
Mhm.
as you get through things. Because as a child, as a younger, when you like in your 20s, you're still growing. Your mind is still growing. Our minds don't even develop fully until we're in our 25, 26. So going through those exercises really brought to light, when I concentrated on what you were asking and took that in, and then started answering those questions transparently. Being transparent. I tell everyone, the hardest thing to do is to be transparent with you. Hardest thing. We could tell people, we all we all constantly wear a mask of some sort.
Mhm. Mhm.
And the hardest thing is to be very honest with yourself. And that companion guide did just that. It asks you to be honest. And if you're honest with you, then you'll really realize the parts where you were broken and where you really started putting yourself back together. So I appreciate the work that I said in the beginning, but now it also it's going along with me on a journey for the next portion, where now I'm helping other people find that those moments of clarity in their lives.
Well,
So
I'm
I
so
appreciate the
so
guide at
proud.
this point.
I'm so proud of all of you who are on the panel and doing the work, and I see it with each and every one of you. And I'm gonna tell you, I've been doing the work too. I may have written it, but I get in there and I do some of the work too. because I reflect on a lot of what I may have written, but I wrote it for someone else. But now I'm looking at it with a different set of lens, and it feels good to go through this journey, and I've always talked about parenting yourself. So it's given me another opportunity to go right back through it again. And I'm enjoying this journey, and I'm enjoying watching you all enjoy this journey and watching you go through the process. Everyone that's going through this process, they're going through it in a different way, and you all are sharing your journey with the public. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Tremaine. So, excuse, excuse me.
You gotta take it.
Leadership revealed.
I'm gonna say this on the air. Why? So everybody hears it. You gotta take care of yourself too, Black Diamond. You gotta do it.
No, I'm
That that
going.
that, that
Everybody tells me that, and I'm going to.
Yeah, I mean, because sometimes
Y'all know my
we're
story.
running miles a minute. We're running miles a minute trying to make sure that we get everything out here because we have so much that we want to pour into the world. But we have, just like I said it to myself, you have to pour into you. I'm the happiest I've been in my whole life right now because I
I've
pour into
been
you
trying
every day,
to get
every
to
day.
happy, and I said I'm going to take a step back, but I know me. I'll say I'm going to take a step back, and I'm right back in it again. But I'm hoping that this major move that I'm going to make will get me to happy. Because just
Awesome,
thinking about it, I'm getting to happy. So
awesome.
I'm coming. I'm coming. So I'll let you know. And that's why I said the workbook is working for me as well. So
Awesome.
Danny, wisdom is gained over time, and I get that. And many parents they can relate to it. However, during your journey, you raised children in two different stages in your early 20s. And I know you mentioned something about that with the church, and also in your late 30s. So there's a gap between your children, I guess.
Mhm.
How did you approach to parenting evolving with age, experience, and maturity? Because I'm saying in your 20s, there's one thing. But then
Mhm.
when you get in your 30s, age, experience, and maturity. How did you approach that with parenting?
So that was a hard approach. It really was. Um, I know that my patience is a little worn a little thin now. When I had my child later in life, in my 30s, in my 20s, like Rachel was saying, I wasn't fully developed. Like I was 22, so I'm trying to figure out this parenting thing, and I'm a single parent, so now I'm trying to figure that out. So I'm a mom. I'm a single mom trying to raise. I had two children at the time, and it was a challenge because there's no handbook for parenting, even when you
It's
have
not.
children when you're older. So I'm figuring it out along the way, and then as I got older, now it's about 13 years. So kids are in college. I mean, I'm sorry, high school. And then I'm 37 and I'm having another baby. So that was like, wait, how am I going to do this? That's kind of a big gap. How is this going to work? Because like you said, it's a totally, what, the generation of
Yeah.
differences. But um, I learned. I was still figuring out Danielle, not Danny yet. I'm still Danielle. And I'm still figuring out this parenting thing because now I thought I was done raising the children, and here comes another child. And again, the support of my family, my faith in God. He definitely has played a major role in my life. I love God. God is the center of my life, and I wouldn't be where I'm at without Him. I wouldn't be where without the love of God, loving me despite my faults, loving me when I wanted to turn the other way, loving me when I said I can't raise these children. It's just I just can't do it. And God was like, I got you, and I got you
I'm,
from
I'm
back then.
gonna throw.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw intentional your way as well. You wrote um, in Moments for Mom. At what part in there was intentionally written for Danny? and Danielle. What part in that book was written for you?
What part? Um,
See, I'm gonna, I'm a podcast and I'll throw you curveballs in a minute.
I know,
And
right?
I
I
need
got to
you.
pull out the book.
Yeah.
No, um, actually, I'm going to have to say the whole chapter because, again, it was a book where I had to be vulnerable and I had to really step back and present myself. And this is real. Like, this isn't fiction. This isn't something made up. Like, I'm going to be sharing my real life, my real truth. And that that chapter introduced Danny and Danielle. It's telling people about who I am and whose I am.
That you arrived. I
Yes.
love it. You arrived and you're not going anywhere.
Nope.
You're letting them
Nope.
know you are here. You are here to stay.
Yes.
And I
I'm
definitely
just
get that.
starting.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm glad for you and I'm happy for you. And what I'm going to say is welcome Danny and Danielle.
Yeah.
So there you
Yeah.
go.
Fusion.
Mentorship or using a coaching approach demonstrates the practical ways you lift people. You're known for helping others build their confidence and leadership skills. What is your approach, Rachel, when empowering other people to find their strengths and potential when they feel as though that they are broken?
I will say my first approach is for them to take the opportunity to breathe
Mm,
through it. And when you say that you are now ready for growth, understanding that you have to learn who you are before you start growing. And the first part of my coaching program is all about self, being self-aware, being self-assured, having
mm,
self-discipline, self-care, and just building up you. Before we ever get into talking about your specific goals, your specific things you want to do. Because if you don't talk or develop the you, those goals will go by the waistline because you'll still be battling with things like limiting beliefs, things in your life. So when you're broken, I say the first thing is you have to first fix the broken you
mhm.
and not hold on to the broken you.
Right.
So let's say it like this. I'm not going to say hold on to the broken you. Understand that you're broken. Develop those broke the things that broke your confidence in you, or
Mhm,
because a lot of times when you're broken is because you're not confident that you can handle a situation, or things in your life have pushed you against a wall that make you feel as if you cannot stand up.
mhm,
Rely on you. That's the first thing I say. Rely on the fact that you are strong enough to get through it because you've gotten through it. Every time we relive those moments, we make them new. So I want to say that one
mhm,
more time. Every time we go back in the past and we relive those moments and make them present day thoughts,
Bring it now.
mhm,
we bring the pain back to the present.
Do you
So some,
believe that some people hold on to that brokenness because they're afraid to let it go and that's all they know?
yes, ma'am. I really believe that, and I spoke on this a little bit on my on a podcast yesterday as well as my radio show. What I said was this: is that we are comfortable with what we know. The
mhm,
future is unknown, so you're uncomfortable to move forward. So
mhm,
you stay stuck
Yeah.
in the past because that is familiar. But trust me, familiar will get you caught in a cycle that doesn't allow you to find growth.
mhm,
So the only way to find growth is sometimes I think I said this on our show a couple of weeks ago because we're almost it's almost time to do the show again. This month has flew by,
Yes, it is.
but
mhm,
that we can't wait for other people to validate our pain or help us get through it. And this is from the people from the past that might have hurt us. Sometimes we're waiting for them to acknowledge that they've done wrong or acknowledge
Mhm.
that they've hurt us. The only person that needs to acknowledge your pain is you.
Mhm.
And then
Yes,
once you acknowledge it, I have a thing I call FADAR within my program. It's called, I named it that way just because I tell people acknowledge it, debunk that is real. Because remember, the past is over; it's no longer real.
that's why they
Elevate
call it the past.
Mhm.
elevate elevate above it, and then reprogram your mind to move forward. That's the hardest one out of it is the R, reprogram. Because
Mhm.
you can reprogram yourself as you're no longer a victim, you are a survivor. And once you're no longer a victim, you're not holding on to the victim mentality. You don't have to prove that it happened to you. You don't have to prove that you're over it. You are just now proving that it happened. It's over. You have survived it, and now you're ready to thrive. But you have to get over
Okay,
being a victim. You have to let go of being a victim. And sometimes people want to be a victim because that's their way of getting
that's
sympathy.
their comfort zone.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Didi is saying that she's working on that now, but you all are hearing what leadership coach. No, I take that back. Intentional
Intentional.
leadership coach. That's her new title. Intentional leadership coach
This title gonna be
is
this
saying,
long in a little while, Black.
if you really want to hear what she has to say, go out on June 15th in Chicago, Illinois, from 2 to 6 p.m. Get your ticket now because she's gonna be there. And if you just hear and just listen, she's here just what, for 45 minutes. Could you imagine what she's gonna do on that date in June? Get your
Oh, I'm ready.
tickets.
I'm ready
Telling you,
to
get your tickets.
change
Now the
lives
thing
with
is,
the
are they
ticket.
ready? Are they ready? Well, they better get ready.
If you're not
Get
ready,
ready.
get ready.
Get
You
ready.
don't need you don't need your
Boy,
pen,
get
your
ready.
paper. You just need you. I'm gonna supply everything else.
Here you go. Danny, you inspired. And I hear somebody in here saying that welcome Danny, welcome Danielle. That's what they're saying.
Yes,
Danny
yes.
and welcome Danielle. So you see, y'all are bringing out a lot tonight. I'm meeting other people. Here we go. Danny, you inspired me with your talk about entrepreneurship, faith, and vision. You mentioned wanting to leave a legacy that your children can be proud of. I think they're proud of you already. What does legacy look like to you today, and how are you actively building it?
um, well, I'm still, I want to say I'm still building it. I'm still, because I'm still finding me. So I believe it's an ongoing process, um, because now I've reflected on my past and now left that in the past, and now that I'm moving forward, I'm reestablishing Danny, and I'm reestablishing that legacy. And so it's not done. I'm not going to say it's even complete because I'm still adding to it. I'm
And you know
still,
what's so amazing?
I'm
What's so
sorry.
amazing about it? What's so amazing about it is that your children are watching you
Yes,
go through that journey. And that's the
yes,
amazing part of this, that they're
yes.
watching you. They're seeing, whether they want to say Danny, Danielle, mom, or whoever they
Mom,
want to
mama,
address you, they
mama.
they they are seeing you go through that. They're seeing the growth and they're knowing that they can do this too. So I know I don't know your children, but I'm quite sure that they are very
Yes,
much so proud of you.
yes,
Rachel,
yes.
the Distinguished Authors Guild, DAG, was under the leadership of Gina Gatson, sheds light and involvement with the organization that extends into community advocacy and why that work matters. As a DAG ambassador, she's an ambassador now.
Oh,
You hold
oh.
the intentional leadership title that not everyone may know about. Can you explain what DAG, what, so you got me choking up. Can you explain what being a DAG ambassador entails and why that role is important to your legacy?
So, DAG, Distinguished Authors Guild. Let me first and foremost say, it is a group of amazing, amazing authors, award-winning authors, nominated authors, and I happen to be an ambassador. I have the privilege to be an ambassador. And as an ambassador, we are supporting everyone, every single person who is an author within DAG. Can we talk about DAG's group? We bring them on podcasts. We put out their information. We are not just, as an author myself, I'm not just promoting me. I promote every single author. On my radio show, Wake Up CEO, there have been two authors who have come on the show, as well as Dr. Carolyn Stevens, which is the creative director for a Distinguished Authors Guild. I was I was honored to be asked, and I was already, before I was even asked, I had already started helping the Distinguished Authors Guild behind the scenes. And my first order of business was to get a website for the authors. So I talked to my one of my mentees, which is now one of my creative. He is my graphic designer. I had him create a website, because to me, when you are looking to help someone grow, you help someone grow. You don't talk about it. I want to be the change I want to see in the world, not talk about the change I want to see in the world. We want
You know,
if
and I'm gonna have to start charging viewers for this show tonight because y'all are giving out a lot of information. So I got a feeling we got to put a little thing on the side, a blue button, to let them know. You know, you missed it. You want to do and watch it in a rerun. Y'all gonna have to pay for that because I'm gonna definitely push it out there. I'm
hey,
gonna definitely
monetize,
push that because this is
monetize.
just
Hey, you
information.
you
You
must
know what I mean?
monetize
And
greatness.
look who I
Yes.
have on my show tonight. So yes, I think that I should have did that before the show even started. That's what I should have done. But it's not too late for anybody that want to join and put their book in with Dad because you have a few more weeks
Yes, you have
to do that.
exactly.
So
Yeah, exactly to the first. I think it's the first week of June to put your book in. If the link is not present currently, we will make sure that the link gets out. But what you can go to right now is Distinguished Authors Guild Facebook page. Once you go to the page, the link is right there for you. In the next couple of weeks, that it will be live on the web. We're gonna get that website up and running. There was a lot of moving pieces, but at the end of the day, we are all working towards, as ambassadors, to help authors find success with their books. You poured out your heart to get the book written, get the book published, and you're trying to get that book monetized. I want to
Mhm.
say something. Authors that are listening, um, inspiring authors who are looking to be authors. Your book is a business. Treat it as such. When you are the CEO of your life, you're the CEO of every component of it. If you are looking for your book, those words that came from you and poured onto those pages, and you're looking for them to reach other people, market, market, promote, 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 and then did I say it? Promote, because the only way your book gets out there without being lost in the 6 million books that are out there is that you must be the voice for your book. No one knows it better than you. So I on this show, I will say this: if you are looking for a platform, go to Distinguished Authors Guild. They're not only do they celebrate literary excellence with an award, they help you grow your brand. That is what it's about at the end of the day: growing the brand of your book. And I have been honored with every member of Distinguished Authors Guild, from every ambassador. They share my quotes, they share my lives, they support. The first day I went live on the air of radio, every ambassador was on either a live chat or was actually on the radio. That's the type of support we do. But hold on, let's not leave out. We talk about Distinguished Author Guild, but let's not leave out AAA LAC. We don't want to leave them out either,
definitely going
because
in.
their support is there as well. Support with resources, support with information, support with places for you to get out there and market, promote, promote, promote. And I gotta say it again. Did I say it? Promote. It's your
Right.
business.
With
It's
that,
your
it's the
business.
broader impact of literacy and representation reveals the passion and purpose. So you are a member of the African American Authors Literary awareness campaign, which is ILAC, underneath Miss Angela Thomas. Why
Absolutely.
is promoting literacy and authorship in the African American community so important to you? And how has ALAC influenced your journey? And does it align with your mission? But before you answer that question, I want to give a shout out to a few people who are here tonight. And that's some of the DAG sisters and brothers that's here. And we got Farron, who's put up the link for DAG. We have Cheryl Northern LeGrand. She says, awesome, my beautiful ladies. We got the founding sponsor saying that part. We have Aspiring Authors Magazine saying that part. We got Dee Dee, you are being an example and a leader. She's saying,
Thank
founding
you.
sponsors poverty to 6 degrees. Oh my gosh, you got so many people on there saying these things to you, ladies. Get your books. They're saying to people, Healing Voices Navigating, get your book. Um, we got Cheryl again saying, you better say it. Um, I'm just saying, I'm just reading it and it's just going through it. It says from Tremaine Thaxton, we need to take care of ourselves. Others may depend on us. And yes, that is definitely true. Cheryl says that she's trying to get there. So I'm gonna try to figure out where's there for her, so we can help her
Absolutely.
get there. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do for you, Cheryl. We don't know where there is yet, but we want to find out from you where is it that you want to go, so we can help you get there. Okay, so this is where we at with everything. Hey, Patrice, thank you so much for coming in. So you have everybody that's here to support one another because I recognize these names and what everybody is doing, but getting back to you, I would like to know what is your approach with empowerment? You're going through ILAC. How has ILAC influenced your journey and how does it align with your mission?
I would say this. I want to say Queen Angela is phenomenal. She puts so many resources together. She is always so I mean, 5 o'clock in the morning, she's on the prayer line. I'm getting emails at 5:15, 5:30. We're talking at 6 a.m. What I would say is that the support of growth, the support of not only growing the brand, but also growing the individuals within that brand. Because sometimes when you run in an organization, you don't have time to help people go up. You don't have time people to help people find their voice. All I hear Angela do is put out there how for us to find our voice, how to support each other, how to like posts, how to get that algorithm going. About the 44 people in there. This tells you how much I look at those posts that she puts in there because I know how many members are part of the group because I'm watching
Yeah,
because she's intentional about our growth. And when you have people that are intentional about your growth, you're intentionally going to help them grow. I called Angela when she said she was coming to Chicago, and we talked about some things to help market the authors. I called Dr. Carolyn Stevens and said the same thing. I said, "What can we do?" Because I love the support, ladies. I love the support of coming to Chicago and supporting me. But I am a person who supports as well. So I wanted to make sure that when they came here, that there was an opportunity for them to sell books. One more time, promote, 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 and then promote again. That is what I'm about. I want success for them.
that's that
Success.
intentional part of her that I've been telling y'all about tonight. But
Absolutely.
somebody had mentioned in here that we need to take care of ourselves. And that goes for you too, Angela. Take care of yourself because others may depend on you. Okay,
Yes.
take care of yourself as well because I know what Rachel is talking about. I've seen your work, and I've had conversations with you, and I don't think that I'm the only one that had that kind of conversation with you, Danny. We all know that self care and realistic reflections are important. You once said motherhood is a 24/7 role, like a 911 operator. And if you are a mother or a parent and you know exactly what it is, what we're talking about, how does it align and how are you caring for yourself while constantly pouring into your children? Because it is like a 911 operator. It is a 24 hour, 7 days a week. I'm almost believing that there's an eighth day in the week because time goes by so daggone quick. Here it is Sunday, and then by the time you get to Saturday, it's like you're seeing double. I just saw myself past myself. So I think there's 8 days. So I don't know what anybody else is saying. It's 8 days in the week. And now y'all can try to have me committed if you want to, but y'all gonna see it too. How does it align with your mission and how you're pouring into your children?
So it is, like I said earlier, there is no handbook for parenting. It took a while to even realize to take care of myself because the children do require your time. I mean, your time, your money. You're working. You're trying to do after school activities. You're trying to spend time on the weekend. But again, I had to find self time for self care, and I demand it. Like it's like now,
Yes.
okay, I'm taking this time for me. Okay,
It's
Now is that Danny
necessity.
talking or Danielle talking about saying she demanding stuff?
both.
Because you came on, you were Danielle, but now see, look at her.
I
Look at her.
know.
She's going for it. There you go.
I demand it now. I
See,
demand
now
my
that's Danny.
time.
Because I know I had her on my show before. This is not her first go round. I didn't hear this Danny person. Now I'm hearing Danny and Dan. Ooh, I'm scared of you.
Danny
She
has,
know who she is.
yes,
Danny
Danny
know who
has
she is.
had time to grow. I've had time to grow. I had time to reflect. I've had time to have self care to reflect. Um,
It's
so
important.
that it's just really important. Now that I'm older, I'm really realizing that I have to take care of me, and I have to set boundaries. Rachel shared that earlier. Like you got to just set some boundaries. Like this is what it is, and I got to take
Yeah,
care of
it is
myself.
what it is. So you inspire others who may be holding on to faith while working hard. And faith is an action word. What does that look like in your daily life as a woman of faith, a mother, and in your experience as a businesswoman?
So it hasn't always come easy. So I have had wavering faith, and I'm going to be honest about that. Um, but I've been learning to stay before God for everything and ask Him, Lord, what is it you need me to do? What is it that I can do to do better so that I can be a help for others, for my children, for other people that I'm coming into contact with that maybe want to learn about how to be an author or that I meet at work. So faith is action. Like it says in the Bible, faith without works is dead. And I truly
Yes.
believe that. And that's one of the mantras I stand with. You know, I have to put my faith into action, and I have so people can see Danielle's got the faith, and Danielle's moving forward, and Danny's not giving up. So that's how
Yeah.
I'm moving forward.
Now, Rachel, I've seen your energy, and I know they've seen it here tonight. It's the energy that exuberates. Please share where your energy comes from and lessons from collaborating with other authors. Now, I told you I've been keeping an eye on you. You recently participated in the original Chasing Your Dream book tour and literary expo with 100 authors. What was it like to be part of such a huge gathering of writers? And what did you take away from that experience?
Okay, we'll start with question one. So what was the first question? I want to make sure I get you all your answers.
So I want you to share where your energy comes from
The
and
energy.
lessons from collaborating
So
with others.
I'll say this: every day I meditate. I have a regimen. I am grateful every day before I go. There's gonna be a little TMI. I go to the restroom, then I wash my hands, then I before I brush my teeth, I put on my board of gratitude what I'm grateful for today. Because every single day you must lead your life with gratitude. You cannot live in whatever you believe you're lacking. What are you grateful for today? Sometimes my gratitude board has love, abundance, patience, breathing, and it'll be something and just love. because I love me always. I know it sounds selfish, but I wanted someone to just this little part here. If you are not selfish with you can't be selfless. Yourself is still in it. So I've learned to build me. So after I do my gratitude, I do an affirmation on my calendar that my wife and I sign off on. We sign off on being millionaires and moving accordingly every day. Then I meditate. I meditate for when I very first started, and meditation for me was being able to get in tune with myself and listen to God pour into me. And God is in everything and in me. So I ask a question, a simple question, and I meditate for 15 to 20 minutes every single day. And I ponder that question. I don't look for the answer, I allow the answers to come to me. I am always afterwards, I say thank you. I write down my thoughts from that meditation because I'm always looking, that's how I pour into me. I on an everyday basis, I listen to at least 1 hour a day of only motivational music, podcasts, or books. Only.
So you recently participated in the original Chasing Your Dream book tour. What was that like to be a part of such a huge gathering?
The biggest thing was support. Support. Everyone was extremely supportive. When I came in the room, when we started talking and just hearing everyone's story, that that allows you to feel the energy of connection. That moment of connection when I actually hugged Angela after I talked to Angela a lot, talked to her online, talked to her on emails, we're talking, and to hug her in person. And the first thing I said is, I came to see you. I wanted to see her in person because I wanted to tell her in person she's not alone. And stop acting as if she's alone. Stop working alone.
Amen.
Work
I hope
gotta
she's hearing
build
this.
a team. So,
I hope she's hearing this.
huh?
I'm gonna keep saying it. I hope she's hearing this. I hope she's listening.
If she's not listening, I'll say it again when I talk to her
I'm gonna
soon.
send her this. I'm gonna send her this tape. I hope she's listening.
Because I
Danny,
mean,
you created.
yeah, I mean,
She better be listening.
yeah, she created an organization. Now let the support come in. I think I always believe that everyone comes into your life for seasons, reasons, and comes here to meet you for a purpose. I have
Mhm.
growth, I have leadership, I have organizational skills. I'm here to help. So when I call her on the phone and say I'm here to help, what do you need? What do you need? I'm here. I'm not one of these people who lends out the hand and says I'm a help, but I'm not. So I call
No, I think she's
reinforcements
listening.
after. I call reinforcements after. I call, talk to her. I talk to Dr. Stevens, asked her to give some assistance. Give me some information. Let's go. How do we move forward? Because you can do something good by yourself. You can do something extraordinary with a team.
Oh, she's listening because I see her saying Coach Rach. You forgot to put intentional in front of it though. She has a new title. She says Coach Rach for show.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So I
Danny,
mean,
you
but
created.
that's what I got from being at the event. The camaraderie, the opportunity to just hug her and say that in her ear. That she's
And
not alone.
when you join this organization, that's what you get. That's what you're gonna get when you join.
That's the
So
same thing.
this space,
Very similar to
this
distinguished.
space, this is a family. And
Yes,
if you want to join, you can. We're not gonna sit here and say, oh no, you don't qualify. You do qualify. Just join. So Rachel, Danny, you created a deeply emotional and spiritual moment for our listeners. When you hit low points, you turn to prayer, scripture, or worship. What's one moment when God's presence sustained you through a difficult time in motherhood or life?
One time, so many. Um,
What stands out to you the most?
what stands out to me the most? Wow, that's a loaded question here.
I'll break it down for you this way. What message or lesson from God do you hope poured into you?
Gotcha. So I would have to say, I keep hearing God say, "You are enough," and you're enough because I created you to be enough. And so I'm going back to Rachel early on because she said it's the mindset. It's a lot of things are in our minds that hinders us from moving forward or hinders us from our greatness, and we have to change the way we think. So, in my in me reflecting again and changing the mindset and realizing I am enough because that's what who God made me to be. Now I am aware that that's all I need. If God says I'm enough, then I'm enough.
Okay,
Yes.
so with
And
that
I believe
said,
that.
I want you, Danny, to come full circle to speak directly to our audience and our listeners with encouragement. You ended your chapter with a powerful message for all types of mothers, single, married, foster, and grandmothers, and so on and so forth. What would you say to the woman listening right now who feels like she's not enough?
I would say give yourself some grace. Give yourself grace and realize that you are still growing. I mean, we're older, like I'm older, but I'm still growing. And the for me, my faith in God is what keeps me going because I know no matter what, God's going to be there for me. God's never going to turn his back on me. And again, that's going back to I'm enough. You are enough. Allow yourself, take care of yourself. I think we talk about this a lot of times throughout. That self-care is so important because you can't take care if you're not taking care of yourself, how can you take care of someone else? So
Amen.
And
definitely allow time and demand that you have demand your time. What did uh reclaim your time? Demand your
yep,
time, demand your self-care.
Yes.
Dee Dee is saying that she has to tell herself that daily that she is enough, that she has to tell herself that. So, Rachel,
Yes.
for listeners who are facing challenges like the ones you once faced, what message or advice would you share to help them pursue their dreams and achieve their own six-figure success? And I might have to get in on that too.
Okay.
Me too.
So I'm gonna start here. Be in the room June 15th. My my book is
Hey,
the book launch immersive event. It's called hashtag poverty from six figures. It takes you from a six-figure a poverty mindset because poverty is not a money amount, it's a mindset. You could be a millionaire and have a poverty mindset that will take you from a million to zero. So it builds your mindset that is needed to grow. And I know one thing you guys notice that everything about me is mindset because your mindset allows you to grow. It gives you the growth that is needed for your success. How you grow? Change what you're thinking. Get rid of, as one of my favorite mentors says, stinking thinking will keep you stuck. So
ooh,
the first thing is let's get the positive mindset. Know, as Danny said, know you are enough. You were divinely created to be the perfect person that you are. Every challenge that you faced, everything that you've gone through has made you the perfect version of you. There's no one like you.
amen.
There's
So
nothing.
looking,
You can look in the mirror, and that person in the mirror is different than a person that looks back because you learn something when you look in the mirror. So that means that your reflection is reflecting something old. Think about that. When you even look in a mirror, you're reflecting the past because the present you has just learned something new about you. So what I would say is you staying focused on your dreams and your desires and taking a dream into a goal plan and be intentional about your actions. Know that you are enough. Know that you have enough. And what you don't know right now, start learning. When you make your
there you
list of
go.
when you want to grow, you make the list of what you do know and what you don't know. Start with what you do know and grow to what you don't know. Because we you don't and get assistance when needed. I don't say it just because I'm a coach. I'm saying that Speaking to another individual allows you to find success. My mentor is Dr. Carolyn
Amen.
Stevens. So I speak to her on a regular about things that for my growth, for the next level of my growth. And I know there's other people on the panel who have had some of the similar conversations I have with her. When you have those conversations of in-depth knowledge and growth, if your coach doesn't have a coach, you got the wrong coach.
Oh, oh,
Because your coach can't pour
ooh,
into you
spicy,
if they're not allowing someone to pour into them.
Mhm.
You don't
spicy.
know
She is
everything, and you never
spicy.
will.
She's not just dropping nuggets; they're spicy nuggets. So when they start coming down, grab them, and throw them in the basket because they're gonna be too hot to handle. Because she's hot tonight. My ladies are hot tonight. So this is where we're at. Looking at everything you've accomplished in the communities you've touched, ladies, what do you hope your journey teaches others about what's possible in life? And then we're gonna wrap it up right after this. So give me something quick,
Anything is possible. I got a T-shirt that says that.
okay?
Anything is
It's funny you say that. My T-shirt says "I'm possible." The word "impossible" does not exist. The word says "I'm possible." That is what it's
See how we
about.
connect tonight?
I'm possible.
possible.
I'm possible. I'm possible. The name of my
You heard
academy.
her.
How you find me in any way, say I am possible.com. www.sayiampossible.com. That's where my academy is, my books are, my events are, everything is. Because the word impossible doesn't exist. It says I'm possible.
That's right.
On that note, Danny, how could they reach out to you? You want to give them some information so they can
Yes.
reach out to
So
you?
yeah. So I'm on Facebook at Danny Nicole and Danny Nicole the author. I'm on Instagram at Danny Nicole the author, and then my website is www.dannynicoletheauthor.com.
Okay. So what a powerful conversation tonight with intentional coach Rachel and Danny. See, I ain't gonna say Danny, I'm gonna say Danny.
That's right.
Two
It's
women
Danny.
walking in purpose, leading with heart, and reminding us all that healing and hope can coexist. So if anything they said tonight resonated with you, take a moment to share this episode, leave us a review, and keep the conversation going in your circle. Healing is a journey, and you don't have to walk it alone. And don't forget on Friday, May 16th at 8 p.m. for session 2 of Cracks in the Surface, Strength in the Core Not Easily Broken. And yes, Dr. Carolyn Stevens is part of that panel. The panel is ready, the pages are waiting, and your healing is still happening. And get your copy of Cracks in the Surface, Strength in the Core Not Easily Broken, and follow along with us in the workbook. I guarantee you, you're going to enjoy your journey and tell you are not easily broken.